Hello, welcome everybody back to my channel. It has been a hot minute, a while since I posted, but hey, I'm back now. So yeah, if you haven't read the description already, today I will be playing, the Ottoman Empire. Yay! Now, just a little bit of a history, if you those who do not know what the Ottoman Empire is. The Ottoman Empire was a very powerful empire back in like the 16th century to 18th century. But in the 19th century, things started to kind of like get a little bit drowsy, a little bit go wrong for the Ottomans as the Ottomans started losing more wars, and the more wars they started to lose, the more land they started to lose. And it especially showed, and especially they lost a lot of their land in the 20th century during World War One. At World War One, they were at their like peak. How would you describe it? You know, peak disillusion. Like they were on the verge of collapse because they've already had to deal with the Armenian genocide, and many and former countries that used to be part of the Ottoman Empire revolted against the Ottoman Empire, and which would cause the First Balkan War. And they would also lose land in Africa by the Italian invasion on Libya. And yeah, they were just not doing so well. They were completely cooked, completely like devastated. And yeah, eventually after World War One, they would be at its lowest. They would just they completely were dead. You know, they had no more support, had no more men. Like they were just completely destroyed. But a man named Mustafa Ataturk would rise up into power and would help Turkey regain its independence. Now, in 1936, we will try to help the Turks regain the Ottoman land, the land that they once lost, which is going to be a lot of land, but we will do it. So without further ado, let's get straight into this run and to rebuild this Ottoman soulmate. All right. So, as we are here, um we are going to need to go all the way down here to pivot to the past. Pivot to the past is what's going to be able to bring us to the Ottoman Empire. And in order to get here, we first need to do some stuff up here. Starting off with the Montreux Convention. I think that's how you say it. With research-wise, just the basic stuff: electronical mechanical engineering, basic machine tools, and construction 1. For the construction side of things, to be honest, I think all I'm just really gonna build is some civilian factories. Not really much to build, but make sure not to build any civilian factories in Izmir and Trabzon. Just make sure not to build any in those. Actually, what we are going to do is we're going to take some of these off, and we're going to replace some of them with military factories, because we are going to want to make some military factories. But like I said, don't build them in Izmir and Trabzon, and also not in Istanbul and Edirne, because the reason why is the reason why you don't want to build them in here is because we will be going into a civil war, and uh, just these pieces of states right here will be taken over by the other side, so that's why we don't want to build anything in there. Military factories, let's just get some support equipment, put the rest onto guns, and then start building some convoys, because we will need convoys. For the army, we will divide these up, get the 20 divisions here, and then we'll also take this tank unit and put it on there. These 10 divisions here will be set on the border of Trabzon. So just like this, these 10 units here will be put on this fallback line right here. Meanwhile, with these other 21 divisions, what we will do is we'll get 5 of these guys, put them on Izmit right here, and then the rest of them will be put on the border of Izmir. With the Navy, same thing, sign them to a dude, this guy, and we will also set them to exercise as well. Air Force, there's nothing really much we can do. We don't really have an Air Force, to be honest, in my own opinion. So just leave them as it is. And that should be the basic setup. So yeah. Also, this isn't gonna be like a regular HOI4 guide. I've decided to kind of like step back from making those for a little while because HOI4 guides, they take a long time to edit and require a lot of like planning and stuff. But to be honest, I think I'm gonna just do this for like the sole entertainment. Don't worry, there will be a HOI4 guide of this for people that are wondering. But I still need to make that other HOI4 guide, the German Reich one, which will come out this in like June. So I will have it by June, I promise. But yeah, without further ado, let's put this on 5 times speed and let's go. All right. The Montreux Convention just finished. We will now wait. We will now wait for the response of the Soviet Union. Our next focus we'll do is fully integrate the East Bank. And just like here, the Soviet Union opposes our remilitarization of the Straits. For this, we will do no settlements, no compromise. And yes, this will lead us down to the path of war, but trust me, we will not go to war with the Soviets. It will not happen, even though we will, like, it does say that. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about it. We will not go to war with the Soviets. And just like this, the British abandons us, but we will now do nothing has changed. We must stay the course. And look at that, we won. See, nothing ever happened. Now, since we have 186 million political power, we are now going to go for early mobilization. And now, since we have 225 political power, I will now get an political advisor, and we will get the silent workhorse for that extra political power. Now, since I already finished this, I think my main focus is really going to be planes because we're going to need planes and we have like nothing for planes. So like we're going to need some plane upgrades. All right, ratify the 6 arrows is now done. So now what we're going to do is mainly I'm going to rush down here to lift the ban on other political parties, and I will explain what else to do there. But since now we have ratified the 6 arrows, what we are now going to need to do is we have this, law number 3115. The 6 guiding principles of Turkey have been codified into our constitution, and as long as we honor them, we must believe that our nation will never be torn apart from the inside. Now, as you see, these each give various different buffs, which is good, but I think the one which we are really going to do the most is mainly populism, because it gives us that weekly manpower and that political power gain, and we're gonna need it. So we're gonna mainly do populism for the most part. Alright, lift ban on other political parties is done. I will now do this Sanyansilier, I think that's what you say it, and we will now do rush down here to utilize foreign capital goods. Now we get some opposition movements, and you will get events like these. Because these events will give you some stuff. And what we mainly want to do is we mainly want to go democratic. So when events pop up, whatever event gives you democracy support, choose it. Because we are going to need to go democratic in order to do what we're trying to do. Alright, here's another one. Traditional group mobilized rural citizens in bid to increase voter turnout. What we are going to choose here is we will do the democratic will of the people shall be known. Meaning this will give us some stability and we will gain a lot of democracy support. We need that democracy support. Another one is here, the Menderes traditional group approaches Kurdish organizations for alliance. Now we can either this is borderline treason or the cooperation could bear the fruit in the future. Let's yet again choose the one that gives the most democracy support. Also, I did forget to mention there is this, the Kurdish resistance. To be honest, I don't really know what to do about that. I've never really figured it out. But I think your best bet is just really to click on these to counter the rebels. And it should go out like this. The rebels successfully countered, which does give us some nice good stuff and especially some good compliance. So, yeah. Now, we can also do another one on these things. I am now going to do reformism for that political power gain and that daily democracy support. We are going to need it, so we are going to go with reformism. And just like that, a new event happened. Conspiracy to commit voter fraud in rural regions discovered, just like always. This one actually is a little bit different. Now, we can either trial them all very publicly and give them harshest sentences possible, which gives us 5% stability, but does change the popularity in non-aligned. And what this will do is the traditions will increase the intensity of the resistance towards the government, and the Kurdish rebels will increase the intensity of the resistance towards the government, or we can quietly offer amnesty and hope this is forgotten, which only the Kurdish rebels will increase their intensity of resistance towards the government. Honestly, I am going to choose the one that gives minus 10% stability. It might seem dumb, but we do not want any non-aligned support. We mainly want democracy support. So we are going to choose this, meaning that Kurdish rebels will increase their resistance against us. Another event, gigantic rally held in support for Menderes movement. Now, this is a dark day for the rebel. This is where we'll start to see things, and eventually this focus will be able to open up because election day will come sooner than we think. And also, since we have a lot of political power, I will now get partial mobilization. Since Carver the Dead Council is now done, we will now hold our first multi-party election. And election day has come. We can now either choose the Republicans or the Democratic Party. Do not choose the Republicans. We are not going Republican. If you choose the Republican, then you will have to restart this run. But we are going to choose the Democratic Party. And just like that, we are now known as the Republic of Turkey, even though we're not really a republic. But now you may know something. This is no longer look to outlook outwards. This is now purge the officers. This gives the event the Turkish Civil War. This is where we want to go down. So what we are going to do is we are going to head down here to we need to do privatize our infrastructure and peace in the world. So let's now start by doing utilize foreign capitals. And sadly, the death of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk has came, and we sadly no longer have Mustafa Atatürk. What a sad day. It is sad, but we do get, I believe it. Never mind, we don't get national spirit. Sadly, we lost his national spirit, but that is okay. We can live. We can still live without him because we will rebuild the empire that we once lost. Now we have utilized foreign capitals. We can now go down to the Milletian Adami. And you might be wondering, why on earth do I have 400 total below power and why haven't I been spending it? Well, it's because after doing this focus, we can now do some of this stuff. Doing this can give us a lot of civilian factors and military factors. So what I mainly want to do this with is the United States. I'm going to mainly do it with the United States, first things first. Do that. And then later on, we will go with the British and the French, and then possibly the Germans and the Italians, depending how much they like me. Alright, since we just finished this one, we now have a lot of political power. I will now do expand. Or actually, no. What I will do is I will now do permit regional elections. This will help us to take down the rebels in Kurdistan, which we're doing pretty well for the most part. But we will also once we finish that, we will do privatize our infrastructure, and then we will head to assess our future down to peace in the world to be able to do the Civil War. Alright, since assesses our future is now done, we'll now do the Hittite issue, which doing this will give us this little piece of land right here, Alexandrita. And it's not really that important, to be honest, but we have to do it to be able to do peace in the world and do purge the officers. Alright, so we just finished researching trucks. I will put them on here, and I'll put them like one above support equipment, so then we can start making trucks. I will also put on towed artillery on here, and also put them above support equipment, and even get trains as well, because we will need those eventually. What I am going to start doing now is I'm going to start researching medium tanks, because we are going to need to use medium tanks eventually. Because medium tanks, they're just good, you know. We need medium tanks. Because without medium tanks, what would we be? You know, a defenseless nation. Alright, purge the officers is now done, and we will now do the Turkish Civil War, which now we are putting this, and as you can see, our troops are already there. We did lose some of our troops, but that is fine. It is not too much. But since we are not done, we cannot do pivot to the past yet, so we will just wait to do that. But in the meantime, we will go on and start setting up to attack these countries in the Civil War. We got another event. Ottoman officers offer a chance to restore a sultanate. Now we can either choose our glory awaits reclamation, or our allegiance is to the republic and to the democracy. We are going to want to do our glory awaits reclamation because this will bring us down to the Ottoman sultanate path, and we are now this pretty nice pink color, the provisional state of Anatolia. And just like that, Turkey capitulated in like not even 10 days. We can do pivot to the past, and we can start doing the expansion for the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to prepare for attacking the Greeks. I can't find my words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these guys here. These 4 divisions, I will use these guys to naval invade here and naval invade right here. Or actually, no, right there. Because we're going to want to cut off these guys. If we can cut off these guys and take out this and this, then we can easily just, you know, plow through the Greeks. Because the Greeks aren't really that powerful once they lose these tiles here. The rest of our troops will go on the borders. These 4 guys can be put on this border right here to deal with that. These 2 guys can be put right here. And everyone else can be put on the border to deal. Or actually, no, for now, everyone else will be put like right here for now, but just not on the border of Greece. Now, since we do have enough factories, I will create an agency now, and I will use that agency to mainly bring down the resistance in Kurdistan, because we are dealing with high resistance there, and it is bringing down my manpower by a lot. Our pivot to the past is now done. We can now do Purge the Kemalists, and what we will do is we will rush down from Purge the Kemalists to reclaim the Macedon Sanjik. I think it's how you say it. Alright, what I am going to do is I'm going to root out Kemalists in the state so that we can remove this bad modifier. When we remove it, it'll give me more manpower because this modifier actually sucks. But now we no longer have the state modifier, except right here we still have the state modifier for some reason. But don't worry, we will change that. It seems like Germany is doing their German ambitions and taking out Anschluss. It is 938, almost 1939. Things are getting scary. Alright, Return of the Sultan. And now we are the Ottoman Sultanate with a nice bright pink color. And the next focus we'll do is reclaim the Macedonili Sanjak, which will have us officially declare war on Greece. And we also have this nice leader in charge. Now, with these divisions, I am going to change them first by giving them a different icon, but I'm also going to give them cavalry recon support just to give them a little bit more soft attack. And I think that's good enough for the moment. I will add more stuff onto them later on, but that's just all I'm going to add for now. And now reclaim the Macedonian Sanjak is done. We will now do press Austro-Hungarian claims, and we now shall go to war with the Greeks. Let's begin.
Drum bum la român, cu sacul legat în spate cu armele în mâini. Fie zi cu soare sau cerul noros, fie bănițoare, noi mergem voioși. Fie zi cu soare sau cerul noros, fie bănițoare, noi mergem voioși. Drum bum, topa bate, drum bum la român, cu sacul legat în spate cu armele în mâini. Fie la paradă, fie la război, toți în grămadă, vesel mergem noi. Fie la paradă, fie la război, toți în grămadă, vesel mergem noi. Drum bun, topa bate, drum bun, brav român, cu sacul legat în spate cu armele în mâini. Steagul să lucească, pentru el trăim, țara să împărească, pentru ea murim. Steagul să lucească, pentru el trăim, țara să împărească, pentru ea murim.
Alrighty, and Greece has been taken out. So I think we are going to end this video here. Our next things will be taking out Yugoslavia and Bulgaria, and also Romania as well. But I think that was a good, successful run. Nothing really went wrong there. Before I do go though, I'm going to make first basic medium tanks and airplanes, so I will just skip forward to that. Alright, so this is the basic medium tank right here. Here's the basic layout if anyone's wondering what I'm using for this. So basic layout medium tank, and we'll just put one factory on them as of right now, just so they can, like, you know, be built out. For planes, I will make that once I get the 3x engines, which actually won't be too long. But yeah, I will get, once I get those, I'll make the actual planes. But yeah, I think today was really successful, and we grew in Navy size. So hooray, we did it. Thank you guys for watching. I just hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I am back. Bye.